For the very latest, let's bring in DW Stefan Simons in Washington. Good morning, Stefan. The Mattis resignation is the latest in a string of administration departures, but is this one different?
It's different because it's the utmost significant. We had the other week Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke resigning, but he was facing an avalanche of scandals and investigations, so that was not a real surprise. But Mattis resigning, and in this form, in this letter, you would notice not one word of praise for the president. That's a little bit unusual. Normally, when you write those resignation letters to the White House or to the president, you always say a little bit of nice things about your former boss. This one is turned out to be a little bit of an ugly divorce here. And it is significant because James Mattis was always seen as the adult at the cabinet's table and as a so-called bulwark against the most rashest decisions of Donald Trump in terms of foreign policy. So, yes, Mattis leaving is significant.
Okay, now, Democrats have been among those expressing disappointment at the resignation. Here's House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi.
I am shaken by the resignation of General Mattis for what it means to our country, for the message it sends to our troops, and for the indication of what his view is of the commander-in-chief.
Okay, this all started, Stefan, with Syria. How united are Democrats and Republicans in opposing the president on the pullout from American troops from Syria?
Very, very united. Unusually so. So that is a bipartisan front against this decision the president made to pull troops out of Syria. Democrats, as well as the GOP, the Republicans, are unisono saying this was the worst idea. This is a bad move. The U.S. will lose a strategic and tactical advantage in the Middle East. And frankly, a lot of Republicans, even Republicans and Democrats anyway, saying like there is really now, without James Mattis, and James Mattis quitting his job as Secretary of Defense, there is not really a comprehensive Middle East foreign policy by this administration. So Republicans and Democrats united in their outrage and disdain for that decision to pull troops out of Syria.
Okay, this isn't just about Syria, though. The president has also announced that he's pulling out half of the 14,000 troops in Afghanistan as well. Has there been a reaction to that in Washington?
Yeah, and the reaction is pretty much the same as I just explained towards Syria. As you had reported earlier, longest war for the United States, quite a significant death toll in terms of or loss of American live soldiers in this longest war. However, nobody in Republican as well as Democratic or any military planning circles or foreign policy circles understands why the president now is pulling also out of Afghanistan, even if he just said he's pulling half of the troops out of there. Yes, that was all a promise from during the campaign to bring the troops home. But on the other hand, does it really make sense to leave there? The fear is here that in a few years' time, the United States has to spend more money and more effort to bring actually troops back to clean up after the mess, which will be left after the troops are leaving. So same as regarding the Syria decision, no good vibes towards the president and that decision from Republicans and Democrats.
Stefan Simons in Washington. Thanks so very much for that, Stefan.